Hi everyone. Today it gives me immense pleasure to invite Roman here. Roman, congratulations for winning the European individual. What a amazing performance being an IM finishing ahead of 102 grandmasters.
Hello, and thank you.
Yeah, this is brilliant. And it's been like a week or so since you won. How are you feeling right now? You're now back to your home, yes?
Uh, right now I'm in Kharkiv. Last several years I'm living in Poltava, so right now I'm with my grandparents. Have had some meetings here in Kharkiv, and
Wow. So you are
I'm
right now
feeling.
in Kharkiv, but do you live in some other city?
I live in Poltava. It's near the Kharkiv.
Okay, okay. Amazing. Uh, I want to show some pictures to our viewers so that they are aware of what you have achieved. I'm sure most of the people in the chess world know about this, but that's Roman. He's playing at the European individual and he managed to win the tournament ahead of 102 GMs. He was 126th seed, and you can see there him in the center scoring 9 points out of 11. And then um, this was his performance here, 2781, gaining 46 rating points and scoring 9 points out of 11. That's just insane, Roman. At some point I was also rated just like you, and I am with around 2450 elo, but not even in my wildest dreams could I have imagined winning such a tournament. How did you do it?
Uh, I don't know, but I just played my best chess, I think, and everything went really well. My preparation was good, I think. Uh, my physical shape and everything went well. Also, some luck, of course, during the tournament.
Yeah, I mean, some luck is definitely needed to win it, but somehow, your performance reminds me of what Javokir Sindarov did in the candidates. He crushed the field and you did it in Poland.
Yes, but of course, Java here had a much stronger opposition, and he played absolutely amazing chess. And of course, I want to play someday in his uh, uh, like he in his level of chess, but I think my tournament was also very good.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. You were born in 2008, so you're just 17 years old. Uh, who do you work with, like on chess? Do you have a trainer?
Mostly I work by myself. Also, last half a year I have some work sessions with Ukrainian Grandmaster Igor Kovalenko, and but most of the work I do by myself.
And Igor was actually playing in the tournament, right? He was the top seed of the event.
Yes, yes.
So did you both like travel together or something like that, or not really?
No, we have a separate journeys to this tournament. He went from Spain. He played another tournament in Spain, which he won.
Right.
And but during the tournament, he gave me some advices, some something like that.
Any advice that helped you particularly during the event?
Uh, he just like mm, said some trying to mm, cheer me up, something
Mhm.
like that.
cheer you up. Yeah, that's amazing. By the way, I must thank you for agreeing to do this interview, because I'm pretty sure that uh, you know you could have, you were busy, you did so many things. For example, just I saw this was amazing. You actually met the president of Ukraine, Zelensky, and that was very, very special for all of us to see. Could you tell us a bit about that meeting?
Yeah, the meeting was organized very fast. I finished tournament and like next day I was in Kiev, and on the next day I have a meeting with president. It was of course very a big honor to me to meet in such hard times for Ukraine. Uh, First person of the country. And it was
In
amazing.
Yeah. In fact, he wrote a beautiful tweet. He said, I met with Roman Dehtiarov, a 17-year-old chess player from Kharkiv. He became the first player in the history to win European Championship without holding the GM title. I honored Roman with the Future of Ukraine award. We spoke about his path, training, and plans. He has been playing chess since age of 5 and has already achieved major victories in both Ukraine and internationally. I congratulate him on the important victory and thank him for representing Ukraine on the international stage at such a high level. We are proud of you, Roman, and all our people. Glory to Ukraine. Such a warm and beautiful tweet he has written.
Yes,
In fact, it does feel like for him this was, and for I'm pretty sure all the people of Ukraine, this was a big moment, of celebration of you winning this tournament. There's also a nice picture that was shared on Twitter of you returning from the event in a train. Is that correct?
yes. Uh, the our train company organized me a ticket very fast, so I could travel to Kiev much faster than I
Then a
could
plane.
if I now on the train.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you would reach faster on a train than a flight. Yeah.
Right now there is no flight communication in Ukraine
So you
due
cannot.
to
So you have to go by train.
yes, or by bus, but
Ooh, wow. Okay. And there was also one more tweet that I particularly loved reading, um, and that was by Pavel Eljanov. Is he someone you know well, or how is it? I'll read out the tweet. But Pavel Eljanov, he's a great player from Ukraine. But do you know him personally?
not really. He offered me to uh, go to England in the start at the start of the war, but I decided to stay with my family here in Ukraine. Um, so I don't know him personally, but he helped us at that moment. Sent our some money help, and it was very helpful at this time.
Wow. Yeah, I want to just read out this. As you said, when the war started in early 22, I tried to help several Ukrainian families relocate to Europe, mostly to England, thanks to Malcolm Payne and Andrew Shuravin. In one case, everything was arranged for a family from Kharkiv until their 14-year-old son, a talented chess player, refused to leave at the last moment. He didn't want to abandon his father. He stayed in one of the most dangerous places in Ukraine with very limited chances to travel and barely any practice. He still became the Ukrainian champion. Now he's grown up and just caused the biggest sensation in the history of European Championship. Remember the name Roman Dehtiarov. Uh, Not for nothing, our city Kharkiv is called reinforced concrete. Very nice tweet. Did you like what he has mentioned? Is that correct? Like you had a chance to go to England, but you decided to stay back?
Yes, I decided to stay in Ukraine.
And was it difficult for your chess journey, because I'm pretty sure that there were not many opportunities, right, to play tournaments?
Yeah, the first 2 years of war, it was very hard in Ukraine. The first year there was no tournaments at all, I think, and but right now I think the Ukrainian chess are like getting back a little bit. There is Ukrainian chess championship and other tournaments. So right now it is better than it was at the start of war.
Mm.
I
And
just like Ukraine. I like living here and didn't want to leave it.
was it dangerous for you to stay back, or like it it was not safe? Yeah.
Yes, I moved to Poltava from Kharkiv at the
Mm.
start of the war, but it to a safer place, but it still was quite dangerous.
You also became the Ukrainian champion,
Uh,
and right.
yes, in 2024.
Yeah, and that was also not easy because there were some strong players there, and you were rated 2350 at that point, and yet you won ahead of grandmasters. So already one could feel your talent in there. So was it like you were always working on chess, but you were not playing too many tournaments, so your rating was always lower than your real strength?
Yeah, I think I can say so. There was also another very important tournament right before the war. There was Ukrainian Chess Championship under 18, and I also won it quite sensationally. And after that, I did not play classical chess like half a year, I think,
Wow.
and only could play in the World Chess Championship under 18 because I won the Ukrainian Chess Championship. So it was a very important tournament to me. And also in 2024, I became Ukrainian Chess Championship. Also, I was, I think, like 8 seeded, and that also was had a small sensation. There were several grandmasters, but
Mm.
much like this tournament in Katowice, I also showed my best play and won it.
Going through your games, I saw that you love to attack. You are a very aggressive player. In fact, we will see like you sacrificed many pieces in the tournament. Where did this attacking instinct come from?
It's hard to say. I think because my favorite chess player is Garry Kasparov, and I always like to look at his games, and he always inspired me as a chess player. And I think my chess style is much more, uh, very much more looks like his.
Wow. Did you study a lot of his games?
Yeah, quite a lot.
Yeah, like from any books or just like that? Do you read a lot of chess books?
Uh, Not many, but I read some, yes. And also there was a very famous series of Kasparov, 24 hours with Garry Kasparov on Levitov
Oh,
chess, and
yes.
it is very great series, and I watched it many times, and it always amazes me with his spirit, his love for chess. It always inspires me.
Oh, yeah, I'm aware of this series because when I went to Amsterdam once and met Ilya Levitov and just saw, I was amazed at this entire series to have so much of insights from Garry Kasparov. And actually, to all our viewers, I must say that it's also translated not like language, but there are subtitles in English. So I think people can follow it, right? You would highly recommend it.
Yes, I also think that there is like English version of this series with uh, English speaking,
Mm. Oh,
not only
English.
subtitles but also
Oh, English
on
audio.
yes.
Okay, I will check it out. Yeah, I would love to see it more deeply. And is there any other particular book or something that has helped you become stronger? Any particular other video or series that you have or have seen that has been very influential?
I think I can say books of Mark Dvoretsky. His book on games is very good also. I think there is a lot of books that are very good.
Mm, amazing. Great. Roman, should we look at a couple of your, like maybe some of your games? Which one was your favorite from the event?
I think I played a lot of games that I really liked. I think the last one maybe because it was the most important one, and also I really think that it was quite beautiful.
Yeah, let's have a look at the game with Anton David Guijarro. He was one of the top seeds of the tournament, and both of you were on uh, 8 points at this moment. So it would be very interesting battle. How did you kind of prepare yourself for this game? Because you're facing a strong opponent. Were you thinking about winning the tournament? How were you looking at it?
Mm, Unfortunately, I already secured the spot in the World Cup, so I was feeling less pressure to the result. So I just decided to play the game and try to win.
Okay. And by the way, did you have any GM norms before this tournament?
And no, I had zero norms,
Zero norms.
and my main goal for this tournament before the start was to make my first GM norm. I was very close to this in the Graz tournament a month ago, but I missed out the average rating of my opponents despite having enough performance.
Mm. So here you had already made your norm, but winning this tournament gives you the title. So that was an additional motivation.
Yes, of course.
Uh, we go through the opening. It was the Rui Lopez, and you played a D3 line here, and it's all pretty standard stuff.
I think this is maybe the first important moment of the game. I think Queen C7 looks a little bit weird to me because I think my opponent didn't take the idea of a knight h2 and a g4 very serious. I think he should have played like before or something like that. Uh,
Why is this
mm,
idea of knight h2, knight g4 so strong, according to you?
because after knight g4 I will exchange knights and the knight on d5 will be a very powerful
Ah,
piece and it will absolutely dominate the position.
amazing.
Uh, I think already here he must have played knight c6 to bring the knight back to e7 to protect the d5 square. Uh, like after knight g4, I take g4 and play knight e7. I still think it is better for white, but maybe not so bad as it was in the game.
Mm.
But after h5 that was played in the game, I think maybe he didn't see my next
Yes.
move,
Let
g4.
This is an incredible move. I loved it. It was wonderful. G4 move.
Yes, I just continue to uh, provide my idea to I want to play g5 or g takes h5 and knight g4 and to exchange knights and put my knight on d5.
Amazing.
And it is very hard for black to play, I think.
Yeah, and that actually happened. Takes, and you took here. I mean, G5 was also good, but taking is not bad.
Yes, I was thinking that the open g5 must be in my favor because I can play like king h1 and rook g1, yes,
Mm.
and attack on it. But maybe g5 was also very good. But I like my g takes h5.
Right. Knight D5, Queen B7, takes, and Queen E2. And
Yes,
suddenly,
yes, the knight on h5 was also very bad piece, but also I prevent knight b6 because will be always a king b5 move.
yes, this is hanging. Queen takes B5. Right. So Knight G4, Bishop G7, go back.
Yeah, I think at this position my opponent was already quite low in time, and he probably didn't like knight b3. I understand that there is very hard lines. For example, after knight b3, I play queen f3, and black must play something like king h7, knight f6, knight f6, uh, uh, bishop f6, bishop f6, and there is a very important move queen c8 to prevent queen g4, and after queen g3 there is a queen f8 also, and the position remains equal, but it obviously very hard to find. So I understand my opponent that played rook e8 and try to protect everything. But I continue to play queen e3, just continue to pressure his position, and again there was the only move to play knight b3. But again, after bishop f6, there is a lot of ideas of what have queen g5, knight h6.
So he just
And
simply preferred to play f5.
yes, I think he missed my next move.
Beautiful move, by the
Uh,
way. Not
yes,
easy, because everything's happening on the king side, and you're looking there, and suddenly comes this move rook a1. Such a nice move.
yeah, that was one of the main ideas of queen e3. I wanted also to attack the a7 square to help my rook go there. And I think he missed that after f4. That was in the game. Queen e2. That the a2 g8 diagonal is open now, and he cannot take on b3 because of queen a2.
Queen
And
a2 is such a pretty move.
knight a1, knight f6, king h8, knight e8, and he loses his knight on a1.
Wow. Amazing.
Yes, so he had to play knight c6, and after b4, I think also very important move. I think queen a2 is also good, but I didn't want to let him play b4 and give him some counterplay. He played king h8, and also move which I really like is king g2. I think it was not important, but I didn't want him to let him play f3. And my idea is to play king f3 right now.
You want
And
to block with your king, yeah?
yes, and everything blocked, and none of his pieces are really moving. So if he played like knight d8, I would simply take on d8, rook d8, and play king f3, and I'm absolutely dominating the position. He has like zero ideas of how to create counterplay. So it is understandable why he decided to sacrifice the pawn with f3. But after this, I think I'm just winning queen f3, and I have just extra pawn with no
Beautiful.
compensation, and also there is a tank on coins. Yeah. So from that moment, it wasn't much to think about.
He had to give up some material as well, and you managed to finish it off very cleanly. Takes and hg, and he resigned here because queen h6 is coming or queen h3 is coming. Amazing. I think this game was very pretty, and in fact, many people loved it because you completely dominated the game in a way, like from this knight h2 moment. It was very powerful play.
Yes, I also really like this game, and
So this was
it
one.
it is
Yeah,
it felt very good to play such a game in the last round, winning the game, winning the tournament.
absolutely, and there were other games which were also very very pretty. In fact, there are these two games where you used similar ideas. um in one game you sacrifice your knight on f3, and in one game you on f6, right? Like, it's a similar
Yes,
concept. Maybe we can have a look at both these games. But yeah, let's first start with, just so that people have an idea of how your tournament went. um, First round, you beat a 2100 rated player, and I think you won very smoothly this game. I think this was a nice moment where you played this strong move b5.
Yes. Yeah, this was quite an easy game, I think. The only moment I would like to do some express is that after several moves, after mm, my moment, b3, a5,
Yes.
uh, b3, a5,
This moment, yeah.
no, b3, a5, bishop g5, bishop a6. My opponent had uh, instead of queen d3, there was a very good move before. And the problem is that after b takes c4, there is bishop a4,
Ah,
and suddenly everything is under attack. The bishop can come to c6, also the rook is under attack. And if instead of b takes c4, I take on b4,
yeah.
then after a takes b4, bishop b4, there is a very important move queen b1, and suddenly my pawn on h7 is under attack, and I
Wow.
completely missed it during the game. But my opponent also didn't see it, and I won quite convincingly
Uh,
afterwards.
Very pretty moment here to play b4.
Yes,
Okay, so you won this game convincingly because he did not find this and he somehow took you into this end game, which is absolutely dominating for you. So you won the first round. I think the second round also you simply won out of the opening. It felt like you had a good position and maybe your opponent didn't know the opening and f4.
yes, I absolutely got an amazing position out of the opening. My pawn just went to straight to f7, and
Yes.
but then I somehow managed to give my opponent a lot of counterplay, I think. But it was still better for me, and it was hard for him to find the best moves.
Mm. So this is already
So
very dominating position here.
yes, the pawn on f7 is. It's rare to see that after the opening, the pawn on f7.
Yeah, after just 18 moves, it has reached f7. And maybe there were some chances, like perhaps your opponent could have played better, but you won this. So you moved to 2 out of 2. And then this very interesting game in round 3 against Emre Can, who is a strong player from Turkey. And you played this g6 line. Um, I think maybe Dubov likes to play it, or perhaps some players. Yeah, it's not a very well-known line.
Yeah, it is not very well known line. Dubov has played it in Tattoo Tuesday, I think, or other Blitz tournament. I decided to surprise my opponent. I thought that it could work out, and it did.
It was also a risky decision. Yeah, you like taking some
Yes,
risks in the opening.
yes, but I think already short castle is not very like challenging for black. I think if white want to fight for an advantage, they should play queen d2 and a long castle.
Mm.
But my opponent chose quite safe setup with an isolated pawn for me. But during the preparation, I thought that I would have some counterplay with my bishop. Uh,
Yeah, now your bishop opens up. Ef, bishop f5, c3. I mean, the position is still equal. Yeah, like maybe slightly better for white.
yes, but I liked it. I thought that I could create some attack on the king side, and I did it. And finally, yeah, I think he just blundered that after
This
queen
move,
a4 there is
queen
not
a4.
f3.
Yeah, this is a beautiful moment again, maybe for tactics. Knight f3 check. Okay, if you take, it's pretty clear. Check. Uh, King h1, bishop f3. If knight g2, then just d5
Then there
falls.
is the bishop d5, yes,
And this is
absolutely dominating position for black. But it was still better that what happened in the game
you
after
played.
king h1, queen h4.
This is a mate. So h3.
Yes, the real problem of white is also that they just uh, uh, doesn't have an idea because they really can take on f3 because there is always a queen h3. So everything is protected for black, and I could just play bishop e5 as I played in the game and join another piece to the attack.
And this is the kind of chess you like. So
Yes,
it's something that you did it very nicely. Rook d8, rook d1, and now
f5.
f5, a nice move, getting another piece pawn into the game. I think, as Garry Kasparov would say always in an attack, it's not only the pieces, but also a pawn is an attacking unit. Yes.
Yes.
So f pawn starts moving forward, bishop b5, and then you suddenly stopped here. Yeah, you didn't go. Maybe f4 is right now dropping a piece, so you can't play it.
Yes, I was already low in time, only 15 minutes, so I decided to like play it safe and just grab the exchange.
Mhm.
I wasn't sure about the position. I saw the knight d5 move, or knight g5, sorry, but I didn't like that after I think f4, knight h3, uh, f takes e4. After e5, it's a very important point of move bishop b5, which my opponent played, is that after knight f4, king g1, there is no checkmate with knight e2,
The
because bishop
last
is
move.
protecting the square.
So no knight
But
e2 move.
there, yes, but instead of knight f4, there was a very important move f4, and black is winning. But I wasn't sure about this variation, so I decided just to grab the exchange.
He played knight
Thank you, thank
h2,
you.
and he cannot really save his exchange with rook e1 because f2 is hanging.
Yes. So I started with repetition, but then I just grabbed the exchange.
And now you're winning. Uh,
Yes, I think it obviously not the best, but it's still pretty much winning for black.
okay. So this was a nice win, nice attack here. And then we go to the next game, which you drew quite comfortably against Nijat Abasov. Any particular
Yes,
reason why you were like you played very safely in this one?
I was not very well prepared to this line. I was thinking that he would go for something more like aggressive, like Sicilian, or uh, just play e5 instead.
Hmm.
So I tried to create some attack again on the king side, but it didn't really end well for me. So I just decided to exchange pieces. And I think that this was a very beautiful moment that with Queen d2, I thought that I created a threat of bishop h6, but my opponent had a very beautiful way to prevent it with rook e4. It looks like black is doing nothing against the threat, but after bishop h6, there is the rook h4.
Ah, nice.
And yeah, black is winning. And I think after rook e4, the black is probably
Better.
somewhat better, yes, but my opponent didn't see it, and after rook e8, I understand that there is no chance for attack, like on bishop h6, there is always rook e1, so I decided just to exchange pieces and go into the second game.
Nice. So 3.5 out of 4, and then you go to the next game, and something goes completely wrong for you here. Yeah, like after just maybe 10 moves or 12 moves, you are in a lost position out of the opening.
Yes, I don't play Karo too much and didn't prepare to this line and just mixed up the moves. I remember that I should play d4 and bishop h6, but I didn't remembered the move order and decided to start with
Ah.
bishop h6.
So this is the right
And
move order. D4
yes,
first.
d4, knight b5, and bishop h6, and black is fine. But
But you played this, which allows the queen to go this side.
yes, and after this, white is just winning. I tried to create some chances, but my opponent was quite accurate in his play.
Yeah, and you lost pawns, you lost material, and Yeah, not a great result. And I think after this game, you might not have felt so well, yeah, at this point.
Yes, and I don't think that I played the next game very good, but it ended up very well for me. Uh, so,
Okay, you
like
played
in the
a
last
very
game,
strong opponent, Alan Pichot.
yes. So it was also the Spanish, like in the last game.
Yes, like with Anton. And what I liked about this game in particular was that somewhere here he had already perhaps equalized the game, or maybe he had a decent position after d5.
Yes, and I also thought that he is quite have a quite good position, so I started to repeat moves because I didn't see anything. But perhaps I should have played bishop f2 instead of rook c5, and I think maybe white is somewhat better. But
Sorry.
my opponent decided to continue the game and went for a very interesting tactic. I saw it. After knight a4, there was also a beautiful move, rook h5, I think. Yes, here rook h5. I thought about it, but I didn't see that after bishop e4, after x4, knight b2. There is very beautiful move, rook h7.
Wow.
Yes, and after king h7, queen h5, king g5, e5, white has a very strong attack, and it is somewhat better for white. But I didn't see it, so I just simply took on a5
Oh,
instead.
this is such an amazing line, yeah. This one, just giving up
Yeah,
material.
like in every game, I think there was some lines like this, very beautiful, very interesting.
Yeah, that's how you play chess. That's why this is your style. Rook a5, you sack here, and okay, if queen a5, I guess knight f6 is strong.
Yes, I thought that after queen a5 there is knight f6, and after g takes f6 there is also a move which I saw during the game is bishop of b1 with the idea of queen c2 or queen d3, and I think white is somewhat better. Maybe not much better, but
Black has to
playing for
defend.
attack. Yes.
Yeah.
But what my opponent did is was a better actually, but he missed very important moment that after knight b2, queen d2, he should have took on e4, and after x4, took on a5, and after queen b2, I think the position is more or less equal dynamically, but both uh, colors have their chances for win. Black have a good balance, white has good pieces, so dynamically balanced position. But my opponent missed that after queen a5, there is very important move knight f6, and it looks like I just bound a piece after queen a2.
Because
But
okay, I mean, if he takes here, then it's already very bad after queen b2.
yeah, so
So
with such structure on the king side is not possible for black to play. But after queen a2, very important move queen c2, and suddenly black faces a very strong attack. They can take on f6 because after queen a5, all their pieces are just too far away from king. Uh, Also, the e6 square is protected by knight, so there is no queen e6, and black has no defense against queen f6. They can play king g7, but then there is bishop h6. Yes, and after queen f6, g4, this is made. So my opponent played g6, but now my knight on f6 is not under attack, so I play queen f2. There was also a move like bishop c1, I think, just to win a piece in one move. But after queen c4, I think queen b2, there is queen c3, and black. I think they also losing, but we have more con to play. So I decided to play queen f2
Trying to
with
checkmate him.
yes, and my opponent decided to play queen a5 to answer queen h4 with h5. But obviously he just drops the piece on b2, and after this I don't think it is much to talk. Yes.
Wow, this was such a nice. I think this move Queen C2, which you found here, was very nice. It's easy to think that oh, after GF6 there's nothing, but this Queen F5 and kind of finishing off the game. This is not so easy to spot.
Yes, and I was very happy to find it because before if he played this, I also didn't see this combination and saw it only when he played knight b2,
Nice.
knight b2, queen d2, and I already saw it.
Amazing. Amazing. So now you are back in the tournament. You are on 4.5 out of 6. And then you play this game against Leonardo Costa, another strong GM, 2550. And you know, this is a very typical Italian position, right? It comes in the Italian, and white is having a very solid position. Black has some chances of an attack. How were you assessing this position?
Uh, yeah, I think it was also very important what happened before this moment because he had a very nice opportunity to achieve a very nice advantage by placing the knight on f3 and other knight on h2 somewhere like after I played queen f7, I think. So I missed that after knight g4, rook g6. My plan was to play h5 and uh, then again rook f6, but there was a very good move knight f3, which we both missed. And after h5, white can play knight h2, and will be a very unpleasant idea of knight g5 immediately or after h4.
Wow.
Yes, but my opponent decided to play queen a4 instead. Yeah, I think it is very strange move because obviously black is attacking on the king side, and I think queen is very important to defend. And on the king side, it doesn't do much. So I played h5.
I think one thing which I'm seeing a pattern is that your opponents are going on the other side with the queen and you are getting a very strong attack. It happened in
Yes.
2-3 games.
Uh,
F2 is
rook
attacked
e
now.
yes, he must protect bishop e3, f takes e3. And this is also a very important moment because it looks like knight e7 is much stronger move.
Yes.
And it was my initial idea to play knight e7, then knight g6. But there is a very important move queen d7, and actually black has no way to break the pin. And when they play knight g6, white will just simply exchange queens, and after that there is no chances for attack on the king side for black.
Mm.
And
So you were ambitious, yeah, here at this point. You thought that you can actually win here.
yes, because like white is only protecting the knight on h2 is very bad. There is the threats on the f file. Also, there is h4 coming. I'm actually was very sure that it is much better for black during the game, but in the result, I was very shocked when computer said that there is like 0 because I thought that I'm close to winning.
Maybe the engine gives it as equal, but practically it does look really good for black.
Yeah, practically, I think it was very hard for white to play.
Mm.
So the position opens and white king becomes much weaker.
Check.
Yeah, and queen c7 is a losing mistake. Probably d takes c5 was a better, but after queen e5, I still think black position is much better. They
Mm.
have good chances for attack, and it is very hard for white to play. But I think with best play, they probably survives. But after queen c7, the problem is that I can uh, uh, bring my knight back into the game with knight c6, and also suddenly queen on c7 becomes in quite dangerous place, and it has happened in the game. I think my opponent played queen
Your
d7.
opponent got his queen trapped actually, which is quite
Yes.
quite unbelievable. Check.
Actually, I was also shocked that after queen f5, my first thought was to repeat moves to gain time, but then I saw that there was rook f8 and queen is trapped.
Oh
Yes,
my.
and it is very rare to see the queen on
Yeah,
a8 gets trapped.
this is very rare. This is maybe one of the most uh, beautiful queen traps, because like it feels like the queen can go anywhere, but everything is covered. Amazing. So this was another very important win, and then we go to your game with Lorenzo Lodici. This maybe for me was too complicated a game to understand. Actually, I mean, too many things were happening. Can you break down this game? Like it started with French.
Yeah, I prepared a little bit for French, but not for the rook b8 line. I couldn't remember concrete lines. The only thing that I remember during the game is that white should have the rook on a1 protected, because the main idea of black is, for example, can you go back a little bit? If white plays something like queen a5, queen d2, queen a5, bishop e2, b5, white would like to play the move a3 here, but the rook on a1 is not protected and the b4 becomes very strong. So that was the only thing that I remember, that I should stay with my queen on d1 to protect my rook and have a possibility to take on b4.
Nice. So that's why
So
after
as
bishop e2, bishop e7, you played queen d2, because now if he does the same, like queen a5, castles b5, then you have a3.
yes,
Rook
the
protects.
position is very good for white. So he castled. It is also a very important moment that after knight c5, d takes c5, knight c5. Generally, in such position, white would like to play castle, long castle, but there is a very good move b5, and suddenly white is under very strong attack. So I decided to play a more positional game and castle front.
You decided to play a positional game, but it soon got wild.
Yes, but it was my opponent who made it wild,
True.
because after 92, I think the position is about equal, but my opponent was a very creative, but not in a good way. I think the sacrifice on c4 was not very good. And also after b takes c4 and d takes c4 was also a bad move, because I don't think the black should open the d file.
Hmm.
Oh, maybe he missed bishop h7. I don't know.
No, but if I
But
mean, what
after,
else to play instead of bishop h7?
yeah, maybe he thought that I would just play knight g3, for example.
Hmm.
But after bishop h7, the position of black king becomes very dangerous, and there is ideas like a f5, rook d1, queen f2, and it is very hard for black to play. And also, like black pieces are all under attack. After rook d1, there is queen under attack. Also, the knight on c5 is also quite on the hanging square, I think. Um,
And I think you once again got this very nice attacking. Like once you get the attack, you are very strong. So again, you played brilliantly. Check h4, h5,
yeah, I also
queen
think
2.
that my opponent, somewhere here, he should have tried to play b3, because he stayed quite passive, or before the rook b5. I still think it is much better for white, but maybe it's some counterplay. And also I got something like 20 minutes here, so it could create some problems. For example, after exchange of the pawns, a takes b3, c takes b3, c takes b3, rook b3. There is spread something like or knight b3 or rook b3, and there is ideas like to play bishop c5 to exchange pieces, and I think it was better, but he stayed quite passive, and it was also very good for me because I just bring my piece on the king side.
You could have won this pawn, but of course you want to checkmate, yeah. So you went
Yes,
to this.
I think there is
Good.
f5 was even better, but knight f7 is also quite strong.
If takes, then
After
f5.
yes, that was my idea.
Rook h5.
Rook h5, knight d6. I think that knight h5 was a little bit better, but after knight d6, I forced the exchange of the queens, and I think it was good.
Yeah, you are
You
just
know.
completely winning here because after takes, your exchange up and you're winning this one. Again, with some kind of a mating net happened. So he resigned.
Yes.
Wow. So this is actually 3 wins in a row, right? Like you won against Leonardo, you won against Alan Pichot, and you won against Lorenzo Lodici. So by now, I'm pretty sure you have finished your GM norm because even if you lose,
Yes, after
perhaps.
the game with Lorenzo, I achieved my first norm. So coming to the game against Ediz Gurel, I already knew that no matter of result, I will get my norm.
Yeah.
And I think he chose quite good strategy to go in the game from the opening.
Yeah, I think by
He
now, after seeing your games, everyone would have realized that, okay, it's safe to play some kind of an end game with you.
yes, so he decided to go for this line. I was not very sure what to play here. I think bishop d7 is probably better, but I didn't like the passivity of the position, I think. So I understand that f5 maybe is not the best move, but I wanted to open the position.
Did you
And
feel like here white is pressing or not really?
yes, but I thought that it would be better than after bishop d7.
Mm. Actually, such positions are quite risky, yeah, against players like
Yes.
Ediz Gurel. Like they can just press.
I think h4 was the first mistake of white because generally, if we talk about this in game, white would like to exchange all the pieces and go to the pawn in game and then create pass pawn on the king side. But after h4, it is harder to achieve because I can put my king on f5, play g6 and block it. So I think h4 was not best move and practical.
Mm.
Uh,
That's a very
play.
good explanation there. Takes.
And also, yes, knight e2 I think is second mistake because he gives me the possibility to exchange rooks. I think he should have just bring his king into the game like with king g2 or rook d8, something like that. And I think white still pressing and black is under some pressure. But after knight e2, that wasn't a game. I just exchanged the pair of rooks, and I think it already quite equal.
Yeah. And now it's also, as you said, this structure does not help him at all.
Yes, and already this game I think is practically better for black. And from this point, he started to defend. He he put his knight on d1.
Did you get excited here that you could win?
I was quite happy that I can lose this because there is no way like for white to advance. So I decided to repeat moves and gain 30 minutes. And I think that probably right here played c5, and it was not the best decision because the c5 square is quite important for knight. He can go to d3 from there, for example. So I think if black want to play for a win, I should have played some other move. But after c5, the only important moment that after yes, before king e2 is very important move. It is, I think, the only saving move because if king e3, then there is king d5, and there is no check on e3 with knight. And the next move is the king e4 for black, and white is into the fine. But if white plays a more logical king e4 instead of king e3,
Instead of king e3,
e3, yes, king e4. There is a very good tactical point of knight b2, and my pawn is promoted after b takes c3.
wow. And this
Uh,
tactic does not work because even the king is on e3, then c2, you have king d2 after the knight
yes,
moves. So here, if the knight moves c2, and it's over. Wow.
yeah, but my opponent found the king e2 move, and after this, there is not much to play. If I play king d5, like in the variation of king 3, there is knight e3, king e4, and also very important that after knight c4, b takes c3, there is a b3 move,
Wow.
and it's equal. So I decided to play g6 and not a draw, and he accepted it.
Amazing. Amazing. So this was the 9th round, and you drew. You made your GM norm. I mean, basically played your 9th round. And then comes the 10th round. This one is against Maxime Lagarde. Um, and this one is important because somewhere the World Cup spot is at stake, right? Like you made your GM norm. So there were like in different rounds, there were different things to achieve. The GM norm,
Yes,
then the World Cup spot, and then the first place.
yes, it was like that. So in this game, I was not the English Open was not the main point of my preparation, so I prepared this very aggressive line. I think it is called like Adiban Gambit.
Adiban, yes, I have seen Adiban playing this. In fact, I had prepared this once with black pieces. Uh, but what I realized is that white players now know what to do against it. So it's not so
Yes,
easy. It's like white black has to be very accurate.
yes, my opponent decided to go for the F3 line. I think computer suggests that it is might be the best, but for me it looks very unnatural to put the king on g1. Uh,
I just saw
I
that
very like this position for black. I think they have a very good compensation. Yes,
this is a mate.
this is just a mate.
So king g1.
And I think the best white could do is just repeat moves with king f2 here. Yes.
And you were okay with a draw. I mean, draw is okay.
It is hard for with black to play for win.
Exactly.
So I decided if my opponent will repeat, then okay. But if not, then I want to have a good game and great chances. Yeah, it was a very interesting moment because I think that generally black shouldn't play h3 in such position because it gives white the opportunity to push g4, then play king f2, uh, and like coordinate their pieces. But during the game, I thought that I have like concrete reasons to do this because with queen h4, I prevent king f2, and also if white plays knight d6, knight d6, rook d6, bishop e1, and it looks like white is winning the exchange. But after queen h6, yes, the pawn on a3 and is hanging, and white has big problems to solve here.
Mm.
But yeah, after queen h4, there was a very good move king f1. I thought that I have some ideas like f5 here to continue the attack, but probably white is better here.
Mm.
But my opponent played queen d3 and he just blundered bishop h2.
Boom! What a move! Because if king h2, queen f2 mate, and if
Yes,
rook h2, then check, king h1, queen
queen
f3.
f3, king g1, and rook e4, and also black mates. So he played king f1, but white just lost a pawn for nothing, and I think also rook e6 maybe was not the best move by me. I just wanted to play it more safe because I think like the best move was a6, and after rook c6 to play a takes b5, and it looked very, or maybe b takes c6
Yeah,
instead of
B
a.
takes C6. But this looks risky, yeah.
Yes,
Like I don't.
yes, it looks risky, and I didn't want to play like this, so I decided to play rook e6, protect the knight, and also I thought that I could bring my second rook to e5 and start to press the e3 pawn.
Hmm.
But maybe somewhere here, white have some chances to like get back into the game,
But this
but it's still very hard for them to play.
F5 is a nice move. Takes.
Yeah, I think that was a very important moment. That after queen g4, my opponent should have played queen f3. I think it is not very like easy to find because the opponent is spoiled Scandian, and it looks like white just loses a pawn. But maybe it was the best chance for white because after what happened in the game, black is just crashing.
Yeah, the knight gets a very good square, and he gave up the rook because I mean the h2 pawn was very strong.
No, and there is, I think, not much to play. I just grabbed the d6 pawn and he resigned.
Amazing. Amazing. That was the win, and then the final round. We already saw your win against David Anton Guijarro, and those were your amazing games that you played. I am actually after doing this analysis, and I do many interviews, Roman. I just feel like you are so strong and so much of clarity.
Yeah, I also hope that I will continue to play like this. And obviously, everything went really well during the tournament. And probably in some games I got lucky, but I think I really played very good. And I will try to progress and keep my style because I really like my games here.
Yes, I will. It will not be easy to attack now because many people will come well prepared against you. For your attacking chess. But I think that will be the challenge. Um, what's your aim in chess now? Like going forward, is it like to reach 2600 first, 2700, something else? What's on your mind?
I don't think much about the rating. I just want to play better, continue progress, and I think I want to prepare for the next year World Cup. Maybe try to advance to the final stages of it. Um,
Top three, get to the candidates. Yeah.
yeah, it would be ideal, but it will be very hard. But I will work this year to make it happen.
Amazing. Well, I'll be looking forward to. I got to know that you will actually be giving your exams in June.
Yes, I also study in university. I'm on the second course right now, and there will be a session in this June.
What are you studying?
I study international economic relationship, I think.
Wow. I think you're saying so. You're not very sure, yeah.
I'm not very sure about the translation to the
Okay,
English.
okay. I thought because you have played so many tournaments, you kind of forgot. Yeah, you have to get back to your studies. But you will be also trying to focus on your education and chess both.
I focus more on chess, especially the last year, but I also want to continue the study and try to pass my exams and
Brilliant.
get the education. It will be a very good.
Great. And Roman, before I let you go, I have a friend who is an IM, very ambitious player. And when you won, his first message to me was, please somehow try and find a way to interview Roman, because I want to understand what he has done, and it will inspire me a lot. And so I must say that after doing this interview, I'm sure that a lot of IMs will be inspired to think bigger and to achieve big things thanks to your performance.
Yes, I'm very happy that I can inspire people, and I hope that there will be also another players that will achieve such heights in the future.
For sure. Thank you, Roman, and see you soon.
Thank you too. Goodbye. Thank
Bye.
you for the interview.